Hey everybody, Lee Speed here. I'm back again after about a month. Now, yeah, it's gonna be kind of a force of habit. I need to figure out what to do about this uploading schedule thing. Cause I'm not as consistent as I used to be, and honestly, it's not like I don't like making videos. I just never get around to doing this stuff. Like when I do have the time to make videos, I never think about doing those. Maybe it's just cause I'm not in the mood or something like that. Cause usually like when I narrate, I want to get excited. I want it to be pumped up to do it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's not going to be very interesting. So basically this video is pretty much showing my Gusto deck, but you may notice it's a little bit different from the last one that I showed. The last one I showed in a previous video was pure Gustos. This is more a Gusto build utilizing the Banish Psychics as Serene Psychic Witch, Psychic Cleric, and etc. Now you might be wondering, well, why am I using that build instead of like the pure Gusto build? I don't know, like I was already kind of building into this in real life, mainly because Hidden Arsenal 6 was not out at the time, and the engine actually worked pretty well, and I decided, hey, let's try it on DM, but let's put in cards that I will try to get later on, and put in some of my personal tech cards, and you know, I've had some pretty good success with the deck. There are a few trouble spots, a few obvious trouble spots, but I don't know, every deck's gonna have that, so I don't know, is it, like, honestly, I'm that kind of guy who just likes to use some weird decks sometimes, like Gustos, Madolche. I know people, I don't know, like with Madolche, it's it's one of those decks that, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like I find some people that don't even know what the archetype is, and then there's some people who are annoyed by the archetype. And I guess I could get into that another time, a time when I get to, you know, when I upload a duel with my build of Madolche or whatever. So, anyways, what I want to talk about in this video, as you know, I like to talk about random stuff in the video, is my brief thoughts on the ban list for September 1st, 2012. I'm not going to go into like an in-depth analysis or whatever. I mean, I'm just going to skim through the cards, you know, just give my initial reactions and go from there. And then maybe talk about the future of like what decks I'm going to use on the end and stuff like that, or all that other stuff. I mean, maybe get into some discussion videos with personal tech cards that I would use or something like that. But anyways, let's go to the list. And I'll link the actual link in the description to the ban list so you guys can follow along. Bryonic, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Yeah, this is like one of our last few good level 6 synchros that is pretty much going away. I mean, kind of for good reason, because its effect being able to bounce a card to the hand. I mean, it can end games right there because you can bounce a problematic card to the hand and then strike for game. But it also can cause loops with other cards. And what's funny about this is that I found an infinite loop that you can use with, like, basically what you need is Bryonic on the field, a monster card known as Light Serpent. It's a super rare card from Photon Shockwave. And if you have a Light Serpent in your hand, on the field, a Bryonic, and then Spring of Rebirth, basically what the setup does is that you'll pretty much gain infinite life points. Because Light Serpent's effect special summons itself when it's sent from your hand to the graveyard. And it does not miss timing, so you could toss it, bounce the Light Serpent on the field to your hand, then bring out the other one that you tossed. So, and you can keep doing it over and over and over, and then with Spring of Rebirth, you gain 500 life points every time a monster goes back to your hand, or something like that, I forget. I think it's like one of your monsters just goes back to your hand, and you can do it infinite amount of times too, so that's just really busted. And if that, I don't even think people know about this, but there you go, that's another reason why it's banned, because it causes infinite loops like that. Now for Future Fusion. Now, I do play Chaos Dragons. Am I hurt by this? Yes, I guess. But now, I will get over this because, you know, for the sake of the game, you know, for the meta to, like, you know, stop being busted with Chaos Dragons or E-Heroes or, I guess, anything that's really broken with this card, I mean, it has to go. It's pretty much just like Foolish Burial on Crack, a painful choice for Chaos Dragons. For Heroes, it's pretty much just like an instant future absolute zero and stuff like that. And I mean, you can bounce it to your hand with Blackwing, Zephyros the Elite, and Bryonic. So, you know, that's why Bryonic's banned. But the thing with Zephyros, you can only use this effect once, and yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So You may as well get rid of Future Vision. And then for cards that got limited, I believe Chaos Sorcerer went from 3 to 1. This is probably because of the new Prophecy archetype, because they have a way to add Chaos Sorcerer from the deck to their hand, as well as get him back from the grave to the hand. There's like 2 specific Prophecy monsters that can do both, and I think that's kind of why they also did that, and I guess to maybe slow down Chaos decks a little bit, because, you know, I guess banning BLS wouldn't be the bright move on their part, I guess. I know a lot of people kind of wanted him to go away, but he's sticking around. But anyways, Insector Dragonfly and Insector Hornet. You know, Insectors were pretty broken, really powerful. I mean, yeah, it's easy to decide against them, but that doesn't really justify how broken their combos pretty much are. I mean, if they go off, you basically will lose, or they'll get a huge plus off of you. And heck, even if you don't have any cards on the field yourself for them to pretty much blow up and plus off of them, I mean, they could just blow cards on their field, get pluses, and then pretty much OTK you or something like that, and we kind of don't want that. And then, let's see, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Now, I had a bit of a decent history with this card. I had him for a couple years. I was using it before, like, Chaos Dragons, like, ever existed. And, yes, I will miss, you know, Red Eyes at 3. I mean, what's funny is that before the Dragons Collide structure that came out, I only had 1 Red Eyes. The super rare one that I've had for, like, a couple years or whatever, however, like, since his release in Absolute Power Force. Now, do I think he needed to go? Yes. OTKs up the wazoo when you have at least 2 Red Eyes, and then Hieratics can make Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max or whatever, that rank 10 Ixies that can pretty much inflict 2,000 damage, and when you get a bunch of beaters on the field, you can attack all of them and then inflict 2,000 damage per game. That needs to go. Then for Spore coming back from being banned, this will be kind of interesting. Does this mean plants will come back? I guess. I mean, I'm interested to see how plants are gonna work this upcoming format, mainly because Glow Bulb is not back. It's still banned. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, is banned, and of course that basically means 2 of the Ice Barrier synchros, and there's only 1 left, which is Gungnir, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, which hopefully sticks around. Hopefully that sticks around. But yeah, will plants come back? I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting. Spore will definitely be a very key card, and it's funny that it is at 1. But I do think it is because Konami doesn't want you running more than 1. I guess they don't want you starting out with a Spore in your hand, because you can technically remove a Spore to bring out Spore from your graveyard. So, I don't know. I guess it forces you to run more plant stuff, or at least 1 other plant stuff that isn't named Spore. So, I don't know, that's fair. Tsukiyomi. This card was banned, you know, being broke with a few other cards, like, reusing flip effects, flipping problematic monsters face down and then running over them. Like, you could flip down a Naturia Beast or Thunder King Ryle cards that would really cause problems for the opponent. And then, yeah, you could just run over them with other monsters or with Tsukiyomi. Doesn't matter. But will Tsukiyomi make a huge impact on the meta? Perhaps. We'll have to see. For now, I know some people are already testing this card out and having some moderate success, so yeah, we'll have to see. Evigishiki Gust Kraken. This is mainly a ritual monster used to... It's mainly part of a deck that does like another hand loop, much like Windups did, except it was a little bit more fatal if it went off, because the cards that would be plucked out of your hand don't go to the graveyard, but rather to the deck. And that hurts. Not gonna lie. And the fact that you could spam multiple ones at a time is annoying. So, yeah. Wind-up carriers and matey. Now, some people expected Hunter to be banned. Well, I don't know. Hunter would be fine, but I guess this means that you can't spam as many carriers and do the hand loop. I mean, I guess it slows them down, but I don't know how slowed down they really, really are. And finally, we have Ultimate Offering, you know, because offering gadgets, Madolche. Yes, I use Offering sometimes. If I draw it, cool. If I don't, cool. I mean, heck, the card could be banned and I will not stop playing Madolche, or if I play gadgets, I won't stop playing gadgets. Or maybe I will stop playing gadgets because, you know, people like to say gadgets are a one-trick pony with Offering, but maybe that's not entirely true. Maybe I'm just, you know, because I haven't really played the deck that much, so I wouldn't know. Then for semi-limited, we have Blackwing Cloak the Moon Shadow. That'll be kind of interesting, giving Blackwings a little push. Will that make them tier 1? I have no idea. We'll have to see. But it's definitely one extra Kalut that can help them achieve victory, I guess. Debris Dragon from 1 to 2. Again, this fits in the whole plants theme, the whole synchro plants theme. And, I don't know, I was actually teching him in my Cast Dragon deck. Since Future Fusion is basically going to be banned in like a couple more days or one more day, depending on when this goes up, because it is the 30th at the time of recording this video. Future Fusion will be banned, and we need other cards to use. And what I did is I was technically teching in Debris Dragon, Dandelion, and the Spore. I know it's kind of weird to be using that in Chaos Dragons, but if you think about it, I think it's a good idea because you need other plays now. Like, you can't just rely on Future Fusion, and since that's gone, you're gonna have a lot of dead draws. So you either need to take out some of your boss monsters, like maybe take out a Dark Flares or something like that, or bump up some other cards like Eclipse Wyvern maybe to mill it faster. But I don't know. Rescue Rabbit and Tour Guide from the Underworld going to 2. Now, I'll talk about these both at the same time because they both kind of define the meta as it is more so Tour Guide because she's pretty much used in every deck. Just about every deck that can use it. Although, what do I think about that? Well, again, I don't hate Tour Guide as a card. I just hate the mentality of using it in every single deck ever made. So, I don't know. Like, if it adds great synergy to your deck, I definitely would recommend using Tour Guide from the Underworld. But if not, don't use it. It's just a waste of space, and you can honestly run other cards that have more synergy. And then for Rescue Rabbit, I mean, the Dino Rabbit decks are going to be slowed down a little bit, but not all that much. I guess it just means that they won't open first turn Rescue Rabbit every game, but it's still possible because it's not at 1, but it's a 2. Then for the hero stuff, we have a Hero Lives, Emergency Call, and then I guess Duality. Why not? Because heroes use that a lot. I don't know. I mean, heroes didn't really get hurt because you only cut like one of each of these cards, and I don't know. I think they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Then we have the Hieratic Seal of Convocation to 2. It's pretty much to slow down the Hieratic deck. So, you cut down their search card by 1 extra card so they can't run 3 and they have to run like Drac Connection, I guess, which is a card that you put a dragon from your hand to the deck and then you add another one with the same level to your hand. So, I don't know. Will people even use that? Probably not. And then Mirror Force to 2. This was like, what? It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. It's gonna definitely be interesting because I know people weren't really using Mirror Force that much, if at all, but hey, maybe people will start using Mirror Force more often and it's gonna cause more fear into players, and bad players will lose to Mirror Force. Enough said. And then I skipped Reasoning, but there's not really much I can say about this card. I mean, I haven't really used it myself, but I know back then this card was pretty powerful, but we'll see what decks abuse this card. Maybe Chaos Dragons might use it. I don't know. I might not, but who knows. Then for the unlimited cards, I'll quickly go through these. Marshmallow, more stall, of course. Why not? Necrogarna for Lightsworns. Hurrah! I guess for, you Lightsworn players, you can have an extra Necrogarna to use or whatever decks can use it. Okay, now Destiny Draw and Emergency Teleport. Everyone talks about the whole Teledad coming back. I don't think Teledad's coming back, mainly because like Dark Arm Dragons at 1. If it was at 2, yeah, sure. And maybe if Destiny Hero Malicious was at 3, yeah, I think Teledad would come back. But I mean, I don't think Teledad itself will come back. Maybe different variants of the deck type will come back. Like I heard about the new Tefnuit Dad or Diva Dad or whatever Dad, because I swear, I want to say that people just like to say Teledad because, it's Teledad. And I love the name Teledad, and it sounds awesome. But, yeah, I mean, I know of the deck back then, too. Then, Level Limit Area B, more stall, Swords of Revealing Light, more stall. Yeah, stall. Teledad? I don't know. I doubt it. And then Magic Cylinder being like, lol, Magic Cylinder inflicting mucho effect damage to the opponent. I mean, people haven't really used this, but I don't know. It's just one of those weird instances. Maybe people will start using it again, but yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. All I gotta say about that. And next time I guess I'll have a deck list for this Gusto deck. I know a few people asked me for it, and I'll do it. I guess next time will be the Psi-Gusto deck list, or whatever my take on it, and I'll explain everything behind the deck. So, anyways, if you liked the video, I don't know, thumbs it up, I guess. Leave a comment. It's been a while, so I don't know. I'm not expecting a lot of people to come here, but if you do, awesome. I thank you so much for doing that, and I'll catch you on the flip side later.